250 years ago, a small group of people signed a document that changed history forever. They weren't declaring they had already won. They were declaring the future that they were committed to creating. What if you approached your finances the exact same way? Today, we're talking about how to declare your own financial independence and the three most important steps to actually get there. Stay tuned. You're not going to want to miss this.
Welcome back to Legacy Beyond Wealth. So we have the 4th of July behind us, but I know the entire year we're celebrating America's 250th birthday, right? That 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. Such a big day, a big milestone for freedom. And it showed us that rarely, this happens because of an accident, right? It requires vision, sacrifice. It requires a plan, right? Those are all common themes that we talk about all the time when we talk about retirement and wealth management. And we're going to apply that to our family's financial life today, whether you're a business owner, if you're recently retired, maybe simply trying to just, create more choices for your family, whatever your goals are, whatever position or stage of life you're in. We're going to share 3 practical steps today to help you declare your own financial independence. So Rob, welcome in. I know this is a big, month we're celebrating, but the entire year, this whole idea of 250, it's a big milestone for the country, isn't it?
It absolutely is. And, I've always loved this history because people sometimes forget something important. The Declaration wasn't the finish line. It was the starting line. On July 4th, 1776, America wasn't financially secure. It wasn't militarily secure. It certainly wasn't guaranteed success. It simply declared a direction. I think that's true for a lot of families as well. Financial independence isn't a dollar amount. It's making the decision that the money will become a tool to create freedom instead of creating a lot of stress for you. And at Axio, our mission is helping successful families unlock the financial freedom to live their best life. Notice we didn't say accumulate the most amount of money. We say unlock financial freedom. And that's always the goal. Money is simply just one of those tools.
And I think that's the key distinction in all this, right? I think people just assume, hey, if I accumulate more wealth, if I have more money, I'm eventually going to gain that independence. But that wealth and financial independence don't go hand in hand all the time, do they?
They don't. And I've worked with families worth $20 million who don't feel financially free. I've met retirees with a fraction of that who truly feel that they are free. And what's the difference? Because financial independence isn't measured by your bank account. It's measured by your ability to make decisions based on what matters most instead of what paycheck demands. And can you spend time with your grandchildren? Can you give generously? Can you retire when you're ready? Can your family survive unexpected challenges that might come up? And those are freedom questions that I think really ought to be reflective versus just what's the pile of money I need to be focused on.
Yeah. So let's talk about this. We have 3 questions or 3 steps rather today that can kind of help you declare your own financial independence. What's the first one, Rob?
Yeah. So step 1 is to define what freedom actually means to you. One of my favorite questions to ask clients is this: if money were no longer a limiting factor, what would change about your life? The answer almost is never, I'd buy another boat. Instead, they usually say something like, I'd like to spend more time with my family. I'd travel, maybe mentor young entrepreneurs, serve in your church, start a foundation. That's where real planning begins, because if you don't know your destination, every financial decision just becomes very random. It's like the founding fathers had a vision for this country. They wanted to be able to build. Your family needs to have the same vision for the life you're trying to be able to create.
Yeah, you gotta understand and figure out what your purpose is before you can talk investing or taxes. And I'm sure this is something you talk with your clients all the time up front is, hey, what's the purpose for you?
It is, because purpose drives every other financial decision.
All right, so start there. Step 1, kind of identify and define that purpose. All right, step 2, what is that, Rob?
Yeah, build intentional financial systems, not just investments. Most people think of financial independence comes from finding the perfect investment. In reality, it comes from building a coordinated financial system. That's why we often talk about creating a virtual family office. Think about Americans' founders. They didn't just write the Declaration. They built institutions. They ended up having to build a constitution, court system, a treasury, checks and balances. Everything worked together. Families should think this very similar way through investments, taxes, estate planning, insurance, cash flow, charitable giving, business succession. Every piece should support the other piece. And a great portfolio by itself doesn't create financial independence, but an integrated plan does.
Yeah, I like the way you kind of compare that to, the founding of this country, right? There were so many different institutions put in place, all these different pillars that help make up this sturdy country, right? It's kind of like building a house and only focusing on the roof. You can't really do that and have a lot of success, can you?
Exactly. The strongest homes have a solid foundation, and the strongest financial plans also have that as well.
All right, that takes us to step number 3 then. What are we declaring here in this final step for our independence?
Yeah, this might be the most important one. Turn success into legacy. Many business owners spend decades building wealth, but eventually the question comes, it's no longer. The questions change out there. It's not how much can I make. Instead, it becomes, what will this wealth accomplish? The greatest families understand stewardship out there. And money becomes a resource that strengthens families instead of weakening them. It creates opportunities without creating entitlement. It funds generosity. It supports future generations. At Axio, we often say our goal isn't simply to help clients die with more money. It's to help them live with greater purpose while creating a lasting legacy. That's a much higher calling.
Are you ready to unlock the freedom to live your best life? Schedule your no-cost 60-minute discovery meeting with our team today. During this session, we'll take the time to understand your family's story and financial dreams. Together, we'll craft a personalized roadmap designed to help you achieve your goals. Let's explore how we can unlock the freedom for you and your family to thrive. Just click the link in the description of today's show to get started.
Yeah, and I love that because, financial independence isn't just about yourself, right? It's about, hey, everyone that comes after you. If you're able to create any kind of financial independence beyond yourself, that's just a powerful thing.
Exactly. If you think about this, the freedom we enjoy today exists because previous generations sacrificed for people who they never met. That's legacy. If I can just interject a little bit here, Ben, my 6th great grandfather at the age of 56 was in Concord. He answered the call when the Bunker Hill incident took place. They picked up his rifle and rushed, and that was the very beginning of the Revolutionary War. And I often think about that and the legacy that left for us. And I have other ancestors that have fought in other wars for our freedom. And that's left an impression on me. That's a story that's told through generations. That's really what a legacy is about. As parents and grandparents, we have this same opportunity. Maybe it isn't through signing the Declaration of Independence or grabbing a rifle to answer the call of the Lexington alarm that went off. Maybe it's through teaching values, preparing heirs, supporting education, helping children become capable instead of dependent, creating charitable impact, building businesses, leaving wisdom, not just wealth. That's how freedom really lasts in a family.
Yeah, I love that story. I knew a couple of people from Lexington, Mass as well, and kind of hearing them talk about that. It's pretty powerful to hear the stories coming from that area and that region for the freedom of our country. But as we wrap this up, Rob, if someone's listening or watching us on YouTube today and wants to start, what would you recommend?
Yeah, I'd say the first thing that we need to look at is, what does financial freedom actually look like? Second, the biggest obstacle keeping us from getting there. And the third, if we achieved financial independence, who besides ourselves would benefit? These conversations often become the beginning of a completely different approach to money, which I'm not going to say completely different, but a completely necessary approach to money.
And those answers will probably change how people view every financial decision after that, right?
They really do, because money stops becoming the destination. It becomes the vehicle. Again, talking with another individual we met with last week who was looking at becoming a client, we asked them some of these questions. They said it's hard for them to think about the answer to that because their whole life they've been just thinking about needing a lump sum of money at a certain figure versus some of these other decisions. And it really is a mind shift change that needs to happen.
Yeah. Well, I've really enjoyed this conversation, tying this into America's 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. And again, this is a perfect reminder this year of, freedom and how it begins with making the decision and then committing to it, right? And that's something that you want to do. Right now is the perfect time to actually declare your own financial independence and not chase more money, accumulate more wealth, right? Just be more intentional about building a life where your wealth serves not only you, but your family, your values, and your legacy as well. And that's what we hope to do every single episode of Legacy Beyond Wealth. So please subscribe to us, leave us a comment, give us a like if you'd like as well. But most importantly, hopefully this does change your perspective on financial independence moving forward. But we appreciate you watching. And Rob, as always, appreciate your time.
Thanks.